Welcome, welcome as we roll in here with some Donna Summers agape love. And so I am inviting you to release as much as you can in your body and know that you're in the right place. We weave in community. You're not lost. Okay. And as you know, whenever I show up, you're not late, you're not wrong, and you certainly are not sorry. So just allow yourself. Many of us are coming from conversations, places, perhaps unpleasant internal inquiries that have not been kind. So please allow yourself to be in touch with your enoughness as best you can. I'm still Ayesha, she, her, majesty. I'm still of a stolen lineage on stolen land that is called Baltimore, in the captured lands called Maryland, in the captured land called the United States. So as I always like to do, I'd encourage everyone here and whoever may watch this later to appreciate the journey that brought you to this moment. However, your situation of mind and body, of heart, you have been on a courageous path. How do I know? Because you are here. You are here. So as best you can, allow all the magpie voices that have been in your ear, thoughts, magpie thoughts, let those go. And take a moment to appreciate yourself. Because this is not the path of the smart. This is the path of the courageous. Perhaps even give yourself a little squeeze if you haven't had a hug lately. And the gift of having an intimate group is that we have an opportunity to go even more deeper and allow even more spaciousness. So this is community weaving, right? Every time we do this, this is association. Okay, it's nice. We can share missions. We can maybe go out and eat some overpriced hummus and plan things. And we don't know about each other, but we know about the mission. And so we're going to do that. That's also known as a work model, even when the work is justice work. And so this is community. All right. And it's a choice, right? Because it means getting close. It's meaning that some people going to see you when your frown is upside down, where, you still got your pajama bottoms on from last week, where we can look at each other and say, yeah, I know. So say that, yeah, nah, I know that's what they do, baby. That's what they do. Ayesha often curses. It's not my thing, but we love her. So, we just gonna be with it. We're gonna be with each other in however we are. Yeah, Rena, welcome. Come on in.
Thank you. Hope everyone's doing well today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, dear. So, what I would invite, this is a community where we don't have to pretend that we brand new. We don't have to come in here and pretend like, yeah, I'm gonna leave all that stuff behind, even the good stuff. I'm not gonna do that because, some of you Mandalorian fans, this is the way is often a refrain. But the way here is that in this community, we embrace, and certainly I embrace all the gifts of the different wisdom traditions that I have been through. And one of the gifts that I think is a very powerful one in community at the speed of trust. And I'm only going to say this one time, everybody grown. So if you don't want to do it, okay. So, but if you would like to bring something on the altar that we can be with in community, sometimes the most horrible thing is stuff that gets stuck in our minds, in our hearts, and we don't tell nobody. We don't let nobody know. So in my experience, it just stays there cycling. And sometimes it can be helpful to bring what in my Black Christian tradition was, and I was from the heathen Black Christians, just so you know, is to bring it to the altar. And if you don't want to bring it, say it out loud, put it in the chat. And if you don't want to do either of those things, you might just bring it top of mind and energetically just offer it to the altar of our community. Mm.
I don't necessarily have anything right now, but thank you. I appreciate it. I am pretty new. I've been trying to attend events here more, but I find this a great community, and I think a I think it's been a really great place for me so far.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rena. And thank you for modeling.
Thank you.
And as always, please say your pronouns so that we might see you as you see you.
I'll just put them in my name.
Okay, thank you, dear.
I'm happy to go next, unless anyone else is feeling really inspired. Cool. My name is Eric. He, they pronouns. It's really a blessing to be here with all of you. I'm bringing to the altar the land on which I live and my neighborhood and the families in my neighborhood and the kids in my neighborhood and all of the joy of all of the families living in my neighborhood. And like our open appreciation for each other and for the bountiful land on which we live. I bring this as an offering for all of you, for the benefit of all of you and for all beings, because it feels like an intense, it feels intensely rich for me right now. And I hope everyone is able to experience that all the time.
For some of you may not have had experience with bringing something to the altar. It's an opportunity to spiritually connect with community to support whatever you're dealing with.
Hi, I'm Dominique. I use they, them pronouns. I'm gonna stay off camera because I'm resting my eyes today. Um, yeah, I've been connecting to a part of me that feels very lonely and very disconnected from other people. And it's yeah, it's like this part of me that's like yelling that they need to be loved, kind of, you know? And I think I'm making I don't like the word progress, but I'm like making space and sending like love and stuff to that part of me, and I think I'm getting somewhere somehow. It's not a quick fix or anything, but yeah, and I think it's related to this theme of community because it's like, how do I like allow myself to connect with people, things like that. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you for your courage.
Hello, this is Carrie. She, her pronouns, and I'm going to just bring whatever comes to top of mind instead of trying to curate my response. And I've been holding a lot in my head and my heart. And today I'm just bringing and feeling the yes and practice and the humor of it all. So I bring that to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your courageous journey, all of us.
I can share next. Hello, everyone. My name is Di, she, her pronouns. See, I've participated in so many Bhumi Sparsha gatherings over pandemic over the last few years, and I saw that Eric, hello Eric, had posted this in the Slack yesterday, and I read the description. I thought, oh my God, this just resonates so deeply. Never too much. Blatant, unashamed self-compassion. And so I felt moved to join today. So thank you, Ayesha, Your Majesty, and thank you, Eric, and thank you for you all for being here. So I suppose that's what I'm bringing, is that that resonance, that connection to that theme, to that thread. I also, let's see. I suppose I feel torn sometimes because I often think of Lama Rod's mantra or refrain that, you know, we do the work so that we don't become work for others. And so when I think about my own too muchness, I suppose I sometimes question if that's okay, or if my too muchness is imposing upon others so that I become work for others. So that's where I am in this moment. And thank you all for being here and for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for your courageous journey. Okay, well, I will share. I'm bringing to the altar great joy and great heartbreak. I am watching my son and grandchildren deal with savage inequality. That was the name of a book by Jonathan Kozel, real old book. And the joy of having a yard that has a cherry tree where I picked a bunch of cherries that's going to bring me delight after this. Having a garden, having beloveds in my life. I offer both my heartbreak and my joy to this community tonight. And providing one more minute to, if something comes up that you want to share in chat, in voice, or energetically.
So, hi, everybody. Ayesha, I'm not sorry for joining late. I'm just glad for being here. This is where I want to be. And I had to get some stuff done. So I'm mostly just trying to sort of collect those trailing parts of myself that are like still arriving from the stuff that I had to get done and bringing that forward and encouraging everything to just arrive in me in this moment. So I'd have to say that's what I'm bringing to the altar right now. It's just that whole process.
Thank you, Rena, for what you put in the chat. Okay. Thank you. All right, so who laughed at that picture? Who saw me in a tutu on the beach? Come on now, come on, don't be ashamed. Who said what? Was she? It's not even beach season. What's she doing? Having fun.
I thought she's doing whatever she wants, and that is what makes it so delightful.
You don't have to wait till the weather get right. Whatever right is. Community. You know, the beautiful part and the unrelenting, terrible part of I believe the path is that it's a gots to go together situation. I hope somebody here gets awakened and becomes a Buddha and can levitate sometime in the future or dream the lottery number. Either will get work for me. You know, just share it with your friends. But to me, the delusion of separation, that's the teaching I come in on. That's the teaching that I rest in. And from that delusion comes all other ills. I'm not the earth. You don't look like me, so I'm not you. You speak a different language, so I'm you. You know, you got 4 wheels instead of 2 legs. I'm not you. That delusion is so interesting because what does it support, right? What is it helping us do or not do? Even that voice is not me. I can't come. Because it's not always they aren't good enough. Often, at least for me, it's been, I don't know. Maybe I can't come. Is that for certain I can't go? What does that serve? Because we have all agreed, because we about getting free. So my curiosity about everything that pops up for me is what is this serving? You know, to misquote Maya Angelou, you know, take a day off to, you know, get rid of all the lies people have told you and the lies you told about yourself. What is that serving? Because particularly among the smart people, you know, I'm putting myself in there because, you know, but we have been appreciated for the depth of our inquiry, for our minds. You know, I might be short, black, ugly with buck teeth, but I'm kind of intelligent. We can use that. We can use that. But the question often isn't asked, well, who is this serving? The difficulty, I believe, of community, of all the movements I've been in, is that we don't really want to do community. That's not a bad thing if you know you're not about that life, you know, because to me, the Dharma is not saying do something different. It says stop playing. That's all. So, or if you don't, and not just you don't want to, but maybe you don't have the capacity because things have happened to us. I don't believe we came here talking about, I can't come. I can't be in the room with the other babies because they better than me. I got 6 toes, or, you know, they breathing deeper than me. I don't think that's, we come in here. So we have these thoughts. So I'm curious, what did this injection, or who is this injection serving? And, you know, I'm not mad at the people that got me here because they was injected, you know. But, you know, the question is, well, what is it serving? You know, maybe we need, I think the Dharma is that, you know, the antidote. But it's a rough antidote. Oh, it's rough. I mean, real talk. I'm not going to tell you some shit other people tell you about. Oh, it'll be so nice. Well, sometimes, and sometimes it'll put you on your knees and everything in between. I've been called too much my whole life. I think Rena talked about, the too muchness. And I really want us to maybe lean into that, because the other side of the too much is you're not enough. It's both of those. You're too much and you're not enough, or you're not right. Something is wrong with you. And at this point in time, people are being targeted whose expression, physical expression particularly, is problematic. And and they're too much. And I'd like us to maybe touch into the drag queens, the butches, the people wearing polka dots and green lipsticks, whatever that outward expression, they're not even trying. Okay. They're being too much. And that's just an outward expression, because I certainly believe the fear of this matrix we in. I'm still trying to figure out how we can do that showing. Okay. Is that we awaken and not only know that we're not too much, but the gift of our fabulousness is a gift to the world. It's an offering we might give each other. It's a call to freedom we might give each other. When I see RuPaul and I saw his fabulous ass house, I know it was triggering whoever people don't ride with, but it's so over the top, you'd have to jump over the moon. But it's his and his partner's house. And they like ballrooms and black and white stripes going. I'm so curious. I guess the interior decorators didn't say, this might be a bit much. All your guests might not want to sit in a room like this. But the gift of that home is that it's right there. And if you can't roll with it, the gift of it is, that's not for you. It's not for you. So, too much. It's so funny. Often I have not asked about why I'm not enough. I don't ask that question. I didn't ask that question for most of my life because I agree with it. Yeah, I need to do better. I always understood I need to do better. Yes, I need to do your better. I need to do your better. Not even my better, I need to do your better. Because what I need to do is fit. Because isn't that the price of relationship? Is my fitting means I'll be in relationship. Here's the thing. I'm a witness. If you have got to amputate yourself somewhere to have a relationship, you don't have a relationship. You are simply in compliance. You are not in a relationship. And that's hard because when I have been lonely, I have moved into compliance, even having cleaved off parts of myself to do so. I'm not ashamed of that. I was answering the human call to want to connect. Because see, that's that other thing, that shame thing, right? That embarrassment. They call it embarrassment. It is shame. I still remember standing in front of that blackboard in math, looking at them numbers, having no idea. And felt like I shrunk down to the size of a mouse with the teacher talking to me. I couldn't even hear. Maybe the children were laughing. What does it serve to be small? To not be known? Well, if I'm not known, I won't get hurt, right? No, you're not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna hurt myself. See, that's the win. Okay, I'm winning because I'm not gonna let you hurt me. I'm gonna hurt myself. This path for me is all about questions. I'm so curious. As a person of an enslaved lineage, I've listened to the fiction of American history where there were no people here, and then these magical white people that they let out of jail come here and create a whole new land. And I've been in and out of some schools, and nobody asked the question, because you don't have to be smart. You just have to have had the support to want to ask some questions. See, I think that's the trick, right? You got to get certified, you got to get educated before, so you cannot be wrong. But the Dharma doesn't say you have to know something. You just have to ask some questions. And the question that isn't asked, and I would ask DeSantis or anybody else, I get it. You're Superman. I get it. Why is my Black ass here? Because my people didn't immigrate. So I'm just saying, why am I here? But I've been injected with that. You gotta know the answer, or kind of sort of know the answer, so you don't be embarrassed. You gotta read the book. You gotta figure out something. And this person, no, you just have to ask some questions. And for me, the primary question is, who does this serve? Including my inquiry. I will share a thing I shared in Atlanta, Once I get the wisdom of an experience, and that requires some interrogation, right? You got to go figure out where's the seeds and all that shit, okay? Once I get the seeds out, what does it serve to keep revisiting the shit? Who does it serve? I have a question is about, have I sometime created hierarchy so I can be arguing with it? So I can be non-compliant to the hierarchy that I have created in my mind. Did I investigate it? And even when there was a hierarchy, that's just what they said. Do I have to be compliant? When it comes to work, because Eric hasn't given me the lottery number yet, so I can't help y'all pay your bills. But I want this, this is not around simply wearing tutus, although that's my jam. And if you've been holding off, you might want to investigate that. But it applies more deeply to how we want to be free. The different methodologies of freedom versus the different methods of compliance. The matrix is smooth. And I'm not ashamed. I hope you're not ashamed of going through things, because this thing is 24/7, it's 365. It's hit you coming and going. That's why community is important, because you be in these places and they'll convince you stupid, you don't know nothing. Everybody was perfect except you. Everybody's got 10,000 friends except you. If only you would comply. Lose 20 pounds, gain 20 pounds. I don't know, get shorter, get taller, get white, get black, I don't know, live in a house, live in an apartment. So the Dharma doesn't say, read all the books so you can know how to deal with this. Because I don't know, I'm older than y'all, but I don't think anybody here is going to live long enough to outsmart this shit. Okay, just saying. Dude, you grown, everybody here grown, but I don't think you're going to live long enough to, come up with the solution. Because it just represents samsara. That's all it's doing, So, but we can interrogate what it means to be too much, or as irritating. What happens when you're irritating? Because that's those of you born into the middle class white life, y'all, I mean, from my experience of those of you who have come from that culture, y'all be worried all the time. All the time. What does it serve? Can't even talk to me because I'm white and I grew up in a house and you didn't. I did. And I don't want to be, I don't know. Well, then you don't want to know me and you don't want me to know you. So there's a certain deep understanding, yes. Not just white families now. I've come to identify there's Black people who are coming out of these severe Christian situations that I didn't even know that's what we was doing until I left home. Because I thought everybody drank Johnny Walker Red and their wig goes sideways on the ride back from the church, but evidently not. And that's a blessing. I'm not saying they weren't messy. I don't want to idolize because it was a lot of mess, but it was a lot of mess. And Jesus loved everybody. So evidently he's, some people. What does it serve? What does the practice want? What does Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Amida, all the Buddhas, all the, what they want us to be free. Harriet wants us to be free. Everybody. Well, I don't know. I was fed caviar as a child. Bitch, you need real freedom. You need freedom. I mean, I interrogate this idea that not me. What does that serve? Because these injections that we have been given are smooth, are so smooth, are so, I'm not going to share with you because I don't want to burden you with the fact that I've been holding on for 39 days in a row. Who does that serve? But I'm just going to be over here white knuckling it by myself. I mean, if you're getting some seeds out of that, I have danced with the dark stranger who I call depression. And there are gifts that came out of that. And when he come around again, I went, boo-boo, we already did that. We did that. We don't need to continue dancing. It's like unfortunate relationships, people call back, you go, no, we good. We don't need to be, the door is shut, the way is sealed. Fear, too much. Because that's what that too much is about. Right? When people see it, they get scared. They get scared. And sometimes in that fear, they be killing people. But perhaps the worst experience I've had, and I've had somebody pull a gun on me, so just saying. But the worst experience is that internal harm, that internal story. Don't nobody want to hear. That internal, you get on people's nerves. That internal, just sit here and maybe you won't get hurt if I'm still enough, if I'm not too much. I will tell you from my personal experience, you've grown, do what you want to. You can never be small enough, just saying. But, that's just my experience. You can never get small and be less irritating. So let's talk about inappropriate use of these teachings. I'll share my story. So got in here and it got delicious and I'm finding gratitude everywhere. I'm at the shelter. I'm grateful. Look at here. My son's with me. The place is good. And then I get on the program and get my first place in 1,000 years. And it's good. It's good. And it's good. And I sat there for a while. Looking back on it, it was in terms of my practice, a beautiful cell. Okay, I made it pretty, put up wallpaper, got a lamp, got good linen. They put up a picture too, and over time, maybe broke down a wall or two and looking good in here. People come by and look, you're looking, oh, look what you've done. And most of all, me, I've done a good job. I feel complete. I'm so shady. Anyway. And then one day, Mama and them said, bitch, because I got those kind of relatives. The point was not to have a beautiful jail cell. The point was to leave prison. And I felt that was very inappropriate and did not honor my journey. Don't you see what all I've been through? And that's true. And bitch, the point is to leave prison. Not negating you've been through shit. The shit you've been through should inform you to leave prison. The shit you've been through should not inform you to make a beautiful penthouse cell. Tell you, this practice is rough. Don't you know what yeah. I mean, one of my critiques when I came on this path is that I'm wondering if what we're aspiring to, are we aspiring to be as fragile and particular as Miss Anne, who is a prisoner? We understand this girl is a prisoner. I mean, she's in the big house, and she's enjoying the fruits of terror and crime, but she's, in prison as well. Tell that life is complex. Is that what we're aspiring to? That I want to be as tender, as demanding, as all the things. And I get it, when you don't have stuff, you want to get what those people have. Those people who can create a world of delusion around themselves to have things just like they want it. Or the offering of my lineage and the lineage and the Dharma is dealing the shit that developing the hardiness to deal with shit as it is. It's easier to say than it is to do. Okay? I'm just saying. I want to be clear. I'm not talking about theoretical application of this practice. I'm talking about moving into the mystery and to trust. Some of y'all have told the story. I ran into the arms of Blackness in Georgia after having been severely traumatized by renting space in a white-ass upper-class area. There's a song that says, I look for the rock to hide my face. The rock said, there ain't no hiding place around here. Okay. Both places, wonderful lessons, wonderful people. I'm not mad about nothing. Just knowing that the idea that we're gonna have a refuge. Thank you, Di, for coming. The idea that we're gonna have some kind of refuge that finds us, and that then we can be our whole ass selves. I don't believe is something that happens. It don't work that way. It's choosing every day, every single moment to say, I'm worthy. I am deserving of agape love, and I'm not about that prison life. I'm not about that prison life. And when the thoughts come and say, well, remember that time those people did this and the only refuge I know of begins with the refuge of deep entrusting in my own being, of knowing that nothing is wrong with me. Why do people get activated when they see drag queens, when they see children love tutus? A lot of adults look at me like I'm stupid. I'm always curious. Everything's not for everybody, but what's the charge? What's the, I don't like that. And even legislation. I'm bringing up Brother William Dorsey, an enslaved brother, found freedom, put on a dress, and opened up a bar in Washington, D.C. in 1890 something. Just saying. They ain't stopping nothing. All right? They're not stopping. They didn't stop nothing, and they ain't stopping nothing. Perhaps just really inviting everybody to touch into that apologetic voice. Yes, you know that. I'm sorry. No, the people that need to be sorry never say I'm sorry. At least that's my experience. You know, I talking to a beloved early today. The baby was coughing and sorry that she was coughing. We do that. We've been trained. This isn't highly educated. We've been trained. Apologizing for coughing. So if we apologizing for coughing, you know we got to be sorry for being too much. What does it serve to hold back? Everybody grown. I'm not saying don't wear underwear to, well, don't wear underwear, but, if you're wearing a skirt, perhaps keep it down over your knees. I don't want anybody catching charges, just saying. But for real, when we can't be together if we can't be our whole depressed, happy, heartbroken, weary selves. I can't tell you how many times sitting in the kitchen with mom and them women fussing back and forth. But in that moment, that connection, some people sitting at the table, tired, but there was an energy that was allowed, that was supporting. And to the degree that we don't develop the courage, because it's courageous. I want to be clear. This is not. And then you don't be fooled. I didn't always wear red lipstick and, well, did I? Yeah. I did, and then I stopped because I was trying to fit in. Just saying, you see me without lipstick, contact, Harry, you close by, to come say what's wrong with him. Yeah. But not doing that, not developing, cultivating the courage, finding a connection somewhere. Shit, the trees are blooming. They love me. In fact, when I was at that white ass place, that's what I had. I'd go out because when you're in high class white ass places, they got nature nearby, just for those of you who don't know. And the tree said, baby, we care. We're not scared of you. We're not looking at you with questions about why you walking this road with no white children holding your hand, I believe we exist in this moment because somebody in our lineage is loving us, is saying we are enough. Put on the tutu or the argyle socks or the fedora, or perhaps none of that outward stuff, but just knowing, just being your fabulous, too much self. It's okay. Children will tell you if you're too much. Okay. Thank you, Yvonne. Children will tell you if you're too much. And adults are grown, they need to handle their business. We are not responsible for other grown people. And most children will say, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then, then you have to know whether they playing, whether, that's a different conversation. I am not responsible for people that can't handle. I am not responsible for people that can't handle a crone with a red frohawk and tutus. Look away. I don't know what to tell you. You grown. Use your grown-up skills. And that includes people that can't deal without being quiet. I like to be around people and be quiet. In this kitchen that we have created, this community that we in here, everybody gets to be here, however the hell they are. And that is your right, because that is freedom. Did I want to say anything else? I think that's enough. Oh, one question. Because again, this path is all about questions. What delight are you turning away from? And saying, no, there's a couple of dishes in the sink. There's some work that needs to be done. So I can't allow myself to experience delight. Or anything you can imagine. What delight. And perhaps if delight is not a possibility, is not even a part of your vocabulary right now. Question might be, what is delightful? See, this Dharma is a win-win situation. You can ask questions, and if you don't have answer to the question, you can ask a question about your question. So I just want to thank you who chose to be here this evening. Mama used to say, if you can't do me no good, don't do me no harm. So it was my deep intention to only do good and no harm. What a blessing. And now, Eric, we can listen to Jill Scott as people take care of their needs. And yeah, I just listen. So I hope you had some time to maybe move a little bit, jam a little bit to Jill Scott. I did. And yes. So this is the time where we do some, you sharing some wisdom of your journey, the struggle of your journey, or whatever you might wish to share if something I said connected, or you have questions about something I said. So I invite you now to come on in. Thank you, Rena, and be well.
I guess I'll share, which is basically to say I have absolutely no wisdom. I only have questions, and most of them seem to boil down to, what the hell am I doing? They all seem to mount to that. If you pursue them, if you keep pursuing them, it's like, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? So I think that question needs to come back to whether or not I'm making my prison beautiful, or if I'm getting out of it. It's like, you don't know exactly what you're doing, but are you getting out of prison? Are you getting out? Are you on the way? Did that little toe print move you further? Because it counts. If it's a toe print, it counts.
Yes, yes, and yes.
So I'm going to be remembering that whenever I'm asking myself questions. Are you getting out of prison? So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I feel moved to just offer. It's not. It's just a little. If it's just a little poem, if nothing else. But as a way, I don't know. I have this image of like the teeth of a paper shredder or something, like shredding that impulse. And it's like it's a loving shred. It's a composting shred, like the shredding is the release of that habit of diminishing and demeaning and sometimes brutalizing myself, for the sake of accommodating other people's stuff. It's tough, especially if you're like a little sensitive baby Homo sapien, like it's so sensitive. Ow, why? And trying, just this sort of just came to me as I was daydreaming, a kind of like armor against that kind of thing. And I was just like, oh, maybe in this moment, the notion of abandoning hope of control and abandoning fear of risk and let the elements sort themselves out. Yeah. Thanks.
Can I just add that prison is really sneaky? Like everything you do, all those things that you do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Prison is like going, I know how to get in there and make it work this other way. You have to be watching out every I can twist it so that it'll have this performative aspect, or I can make sure that there's going to have to be a way that it has to please this and such, or maybe it didn't have a comma or a semicolon, or it's waiting everywhere.
And that's why real community is crucial. Because we can't be on alert 24/7. Okay, there is no failure falling into the going into the rabbit hole, because rabbit holes everywhere. Yeah. But I have found I have been most susceptible when I have convinced myself that it's only me.
And thank you for saying that, because like you were saying earlier, real community, the people that see you falling and don't go, oh my God, I don't want to go there too, or go, oh, look at her, she's screwing that up again, it's real community. It says, come here, girl, let me talk to you,
No. You get you up. because real people already fell down before. Real people, and they're in touch with that. So this is not something, oops. Although I'm living among well-to-do white people, they seem to think that stuff is catching, poverty is catching, mishaps is catching. I mean, to me, it's almost seemed like a superstitious thing, which is how this upper middle class woman ended up in the low income house with me, although she knew a bunch of people with empty houses, is that I might find out something that I know, but I don't want to know. Like, my executive husband can divorce me and I'll have nothing. I get it. I get it. It's scary. So please don't, particularly those of you who are listening later and don't even know me, please don't use what I said to beat your own ass, because that's inappropriate use of the Dharma and what I'm saying. Please don't do that. You can have a kink, but not like that. Not like that. That's inappropriate kink behavior.
I'm just one of those people who always wants the answers, and I always want to know. And so I'm listening to Laura talk about, her prison, and every step gets a little toehold. And I'm thinking, what's my prison? What am I trying to get for you? I don't even know what my own prison is. And I'm sitting here beating myself up about not even knowing what my own prison is. And maybe the beauty of the practice is I don't need to know what the prison is. I just need to know when I'm beating myself up over something and say, stop, don't do it. You don't need to know all the answers. You just need to be kind to yourself and other people.
And I will put self first, because I know, we come in these spaces, and yes, for the benefit of all people, but I can't help all people if I don't have a deep understanding of my worthiness, that nothing is wrong with me, that, I am not wrong. June Jordan, wrong is not my name. Right? And I just have a question, even about speaking about how things work, how to become a prison to inquiry. It's like, baby, let's go to the picnic. I can't go to the picnic. I'm trying to figure stuff out. And just perhaps asking the question, what is this serving? Am I in a loop, or am I trying to get some seeds out of some shit? Or do I really value the fact that I'm intelligent and can figure things out? And none of that is bad, wrong, unless if it's serving our freedom. I think that's what is the inquiry serving? What is, am I holding, am I caring for my depression? Am I caring for feeling so alone in the world? Or am I telling myself, I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone? And when I've done that, I'm just moving further into a silo of my own creation with a story that even doesn't allow the possibility or the acknowledgement that there are people that absolutely care about me. But I don't want it interfering with my story because I have control. I know something. So that's what I would share. So offering time for anybody else to come on in as we come to the end of our time. It's always a great gift to be with you, to be weaving community. Well, I am believing, not even wishing. I believe that our choice to walk this courageous and rocky and mysterious path that brought us to this place this evening is of benefit, not just to ourselves, but everyone. Those in prison, those strung out, those feeling lost. I am believing that in this moment we are a beacon and that light is shining on all beings in all realms, awakening them to the truth that we are free. May we hold that truth when we leave this place as best we can. And because we're human, we'll forget, and then we'll remember. Please have a blessed evening. And Eric is going to play us out with some Luther. Eric, can you stay on a minute after? You good? Okay, all right. Okay, so Luther is going to take us out. See you next time.